How are you guys doing? How's Sunday? It's end of the weekend.
Sundays have been great so far, just been real chill. I think there's been some deep cleaning going around here.
Hmm.
Just getting life together as it is.
Perfect.
Yeah, I didn't know that a bathroom could get so white. So that's what we've been scrubbing and just having a Sunday fun day over here. How about you?
Oh, pretty good. I went out last night. It's my friend's best friend's birthday today, so we went out last night. So I'm
Amazing.
recovering mode today, but I'm doing good. So
We're
Nice.
here.
yes,
What's your best friend's name?
Maggie.
Maggie?
Yes, it's also my mom's
Wow.
birthday today too. So it's like my best friend, and my mom have the same birthday.
Oh my
And
gosh.
what's your mom's birthday? I'm sorry,
Yes,
what's your mom's name?
Angela or Angie.
Angie and Maggie. Happy birthday from Poe the Passenger.
Yes. Okay. So I get like I kind of want to talk to you guys about like your new song and any upcoming projects, or kind of just like just get to know you guys, your music, your plans, all that fun stuff if that works with you guys.
Yeah.
Totally cool with us.
Okay. Um, so I your song Hologram, like the promotion for it was kind of crazy with the TikTok and everything. So kind of what inspired you to kind of take that route and like announcing the song, using the AI trend and like, using TikTok in that way to get the song out there?
Well, first of all, I'll say that it was all planned. It was all a publicity stunt. Just kidding. It was a mess. It was we talked about this in the last interview, but I guess not particularly from this angle. But it was just an accident that we put that song out. We've been on TikTok for like a little over a year and had menial success, and it was finally at like I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start posting 3 TikToks a day and just see what happens. And the first day that I decided to post three TikToks a day, one of them went massively viral. And of course, it was me listening to a demo of a song that wasn't even like finished recording. And we were in the process of writing songs for album two, which is our follow up to Alinea, which is our debut album. And we've just kind of been workshopping, songs and stuff. And I don't know what got into me, but I was listening to the demo, messing around, joking around, being sarcastic like I always do, talking about AI. And yeah, people freaked out. And it was a wild scenario. And we kind of scrambled in a sense but also rediscovered our love for the community aspect of music. A lot of the times you write and record music and then it's like push, 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 market, 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 trying to get people to listen to this song that you feel so strongly about. Whereas with Hologram, it was more so like people were so excited about it that they were like sending us death threats saying, release this song or I'm going to hold your family hostage. And that means they like it. I
Mhm.
guess is what I gathered. And we had to be like, and obviously I'm being facetious, but um, we had so many requests for this song. It was cool to listen to the people, the community, the Poe fam that we call them, and be like, "Oh, you want this song? We're gonna deliver it for you." And we finished the song and we released it for them, and it's been amazing. The response has been incredible. So we're super happy. But it was a complete mess. It was a complete mess.
Yeah, like it's like you never know like what little things will go viral. Like that's the crazy thing about like TikTok. Like you never know the simplest little things will just take off. You never even expect it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I shouldn't say mess. I should say controlled chaos because we took it in stride and we did a lot of things that were really fun. We like didn't spend any money on a music video. We made it in our apartment completely using like AI generated programs and 3D imaging programs. We shot on a green screen and it was like the most fun experience just being like, "Hey, let's create what we can for no money
Mhm.
and get it out there because people want to see it, they want to hear it, they want to enjoy the song, and that's what we did." So I shouldn't say mess. It was controlled chaos, thankfully.
Has like the success in that way kind of changed your idea of how you would go about like putting out future music or like your strategy for things or use of social media in a way to get people excited for music or to like test to see what the Poe fan would want as far as future releases or upcoming things?
Yeah, I think absolutely. We toss this idea around now with the success of Hologram, where it's almost letting the audience decide. We could send out a bunch of videos, create a bunch of content highlighting certain songs that we've written that are unreleased, and maybe a song gets a lot of traction, and then that could be the next single. We now know that we should release that song because the audience is already built in for that. It's almost like reverse marketing in a way, or kind of doing it backwards, where all the studio heads and the band and everyone who works for the label or the band thinks, hey, this is the hit song. Then they release it and we don't know what happens. It could be a hit, it could be a flop, no one knows. But this way now, with marketing and social media and the way things are going, it's almost letting the audience decide what songs that they want.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. 100% agree.
Yeah. Um, I feel like social media, and there's so many different ways that musicians and artists can use social media. There's so many different platforms out there. Has you thought about experimenting in other forms of social media, like using Instagram, Twitter, anything like that outside of TikTok to like gain more traction or use that to your advantage as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We are accepting social media now. I know a lot of bands like have a lot of friction with social media. Like I fought TikTok so hard at the beginning, but what's crazy is we've had the most success with TikTok. And we've stayed stagnant on Instagram, and the growth from Instagram hasn't been that incredible. Like TikTok was like just like way more of an explosive engagement. What's up, Michael? We're in an interview. Say what's up. That's our housemate, Michael. Michael Dawson. He is actually the cinematographer for the hologram music video. Give him a shout out. We're having a blast.
He likes to keep things low key, but he's a rock star. Hit him up on his Instagram. What's your Instagram? Who is M. Dawson?
Who is
we know who he is, and he's a great guy. So hit him up.
We'll put that in the description of the thing.
Love it. Yeah, give him some shout outs. He's an amazing cinematographer and photographer. So
yeah, he's been in LA only about a year, and we're just really
he's crushing it more than we are.
But yeah, we're really embracing social media. We've kind of hit a wall with Instagram. I'm not really sure what to do with Instagram because the engagement has just been so down. And we've found an audience on TikTok that is way more engaged with our stuff. I mean, we obviously have incredible people. There are people we talk to every single day on Instagram, and it's cool to be able to have that. So we personal message. We do a lot of personal messaging to the people that have been with us for a long time, the OGs, the elite Poe fam, as we like to call them. So we're gonna keep up that. But as far as like posting on Instagram, I'm like, both of us are pretty exhausted on it. I'd rather put my effort into posting on TikTok because I just feel like the benefit is much more on that platform.
Yeah, and you brought up other social media platforms, and in a perfect world, we would be posting on Twitter and what have you. Any like twitching as well. Someone asked if we had a Twitch account, and yeah, I don't think that's what the kids say, but yeah, we're not twitching. It's just too much, and you tend to be a little overwhelmed, and you kind of lose focus on the goal, which is to create great art for everybody, for yourself and everyone else. And I think if you spend too much time in any one category, you kind of lose touch.
For sure.
Absolutely. And then you talked about new platforms as well. A lot of the times we have people reach out to us and say, hey, you should try this out. And we've done that, and we're totally open to it. We're not going to fight the curve, if something better comes along, we actually are getting tied into a really cool app that's in beta right now called Song Stories. We're one of like maybe 10 artists, a couple of other artists like Moon Tower, The Orphan the Poet, bands in similar genres and similar following are getting on this app. And it's really cool because you can get behind the scenes information about one song. So for us, we're doing Sweet Talk, and we're telling the whole story about how the song was made, telling things that we've never said in interviews before, sharing special photos from like the time that we released it. And it's going to be a really cool experience for people that are like the OGs, like the elite Poe fam, that want to know more than what we post on Instagram or TikTok. So we're exploring some new fun stuff.
Yeah, and just to dovetail that into something else, we also went into the metaverse.
We did. That was cool.
Yeah, I still don't understand fully how that worked, but you create a profile and you go into these various listening rooms, and you could decorate them with your artwork, and then you have your music playing. So there's all these different little bots or people that are represented by actual real people in this fictitious space, this digital space, and they could check out your music and hang out with you. And there's little actions to interact with people and little chat boxes. And so we did that to debut our debut album, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Absolutely.
Okay, speaking of your debut album, how did it feel to, like, finally release that and put that out, and, like, the reception of it? Was it, like, nerve-wracking, exciting, bold? What was that like?
All of those
Yeah,
things. It was
it was everything everywhere
nerve-wracking.
all at
It
once.
was everything everywhere all at once. It was an amazing feeling. I had never put an album out before. I actually don't. Have you?
No,
That was
just
yeah. It was the
EPs.
first. Yeah, it was always EPs or LPs or singles or whatever. And I don't know. We have a producer friend named Carnegie Manukian who is the guitarist for a Brit rock group, a touring Brit rock group called Charming Liars, and he had always shared with us that a band really stakes their claim in the music industry when they drop an album. And we were like, yeah, but it's a singles game. But we eventually came around to the idea of like, hey, we need to put out an album just so people know, hey, we're Poe the Passenger and we're not going anywhere. And Alinea is that. It is that stake in the ground. It is that flag placed firmly in the sand, letting you know this is what we're all about. And I'm so happy, so proud of the songs that we created. We worked with incredible producers that we dreamed about working with. We wrote incredible songs about mental health, you know, being the person that you've always meant to be. And it's just a really, really fun anthemic album that we're super proud of. At least I'm super proud of.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. And almost this has a negative connotation, but almost relieved to get it out. I mean, some of the songs that we'd been sitting on for years. I mean, Sweet Talk came out, what,
20?
2.5 years ago? It
Yeah.
feels like forever ago. So we had been sitting on that song. I mean, it was technically a release, but it felt like it was this huge long process that finally we were able to share this music with people. And then not only that is kind of move on to a new, more advanced sound or just a different sound in a new direction. And we're also excited for that as well.
Awesome. Um, I guess going back to Hologram, what was kind of, um, other than, like, the rushness with TikTok, what was kind of, like, the process or inspiration behind that song? Obviously, people really connected with it and really, enjoyed what the little bit they got to hear. What was kind of the inspiration and process behind creating that song?
Absolutely. We are very adamant about getting ideas down quickly. And we went through a phase in quarantine, COVID, where we were just writing like nonstop and just kind of getting ideas down. And there was this one instance, I think I was listening to Meteora a lot, the album by Linkin Park that has a huge influence on me. And just the really cool electronic sounds. I've always wanted to write a song like Linkin Park, and I think there was just one instance where it was probably the middle of the night. I don't know. I like to write at like 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes, and I just was messing around with the guitar, and one of our producers. I think it was Ethan Kaufman. He had suggested that we use the voice memo app on our iPhone to record acoustic guitars because it ends up sounding cooler than like actually professionally recording the acoustic guitar. So I did that, and then we brought it into Logic and then messed with it, and Trent kind of like switched the rhythm of it, and it really kind of took on an Imagine Dragons verse kind of thing. But I wanted the heavy hitting chorus of a Linkin Park song, and I don't know. Lyrics about feeling discontented with the person, in the mirror, the AI kind of concept taking over the world, just feeling disconnected from your human body were kind of just the lyrics that were floating around in my head. And I think the original hook of the chorus was a shadow of a man, I'm a hologram, and it was a lot more of a personal um, song about someone's journey towards finding themselves. But then we were like, oh, well, what if we tap into a little bit more of like the technological AI space, AI robots taking over the world kind of thing, and imposter syndrome, which was always a disease that we were fantasized or obsessed, not obsessed with, but we had always thought was interesting, and we kind of infused that into the lyrics. And I sent like some rough demo to Trent when he was in Arizona, and he was like, dude, this is sick. And then when he came back, we kind of hit the ground running. And I think we wrote the song fairly quickly. And we put together a demo and then put the demo on the shelf. And then for some reason, I just decided to listen to it in my car one day and talk about AI, and then it blew up on the internet. So I don't know. It was like a wild, it was kind of a random wild experience because I we hadn't worked on it for like half a year,
Yeah.
maybe longer. I have no idea. We were putting together demos for album 2, and it was just kind of like sitting in a folder, and then I don't know, I was just like, oh, this kind of has an AI sound to it, and I was just riffing, and then here we are. Messing around really is how that song was written.
Yeah, it's like I always feel like whenever I'm working on something, the things that you put aside or like you just, oh, okay, I'll just work on this later, or just throw things out and then like you go back to it and then you never know what hidden little gems are in there for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Let's see what else I had. Um, so you mentioned that you've been took a couple years to put out your first album. What was like the journey of like finally deciding to put out that album? Like, what was your process of like? I think like I'm looking at your Spotify, it's like 2018 or something. You started putting out music. What was kind of the journey of like the progression of finally getting to the stage where you were ready to put out that album?
I think a lot of it was people asking us, "Hey, when are you going to put out a full body of work?" And also the idea of wanting the success of an album, and not commercially success, but the inner success of, hey, we did this, we created this whole thing, and we're such big fans of music, we're such big fans of other bands' first albums. We wanted to do the same, and we wanted to really put forth the best effort, like we thought those other bands did as well. And so it was really kind of just holding us accountable is a lot of the motivator. And we also did a 30-day songwriting challenge that kind of pushed us in that direction and really forced us to get together, write every single day. Also, so we could write more cohesively, because we had a little bit of an issue before finding our sound. And then writing every single day, I think, really forced us to find our sound and come up with as many songs as we could. And then we picked the better ones and put them all together.
Yeah, it was very exciting to put the record together, and it was an interesting journey because obviously releasing an album in 2023 or 2022 is completely different than when the albums that we most relate to came out. But how cool is it to be a musician in 2022 or 2023? We recorded maybe half the songs at our home studio. We recorded a song with one producer over here. We recorded another song with another producer over here. We had incredible songwriting sessions. And then we were able to pick, I think, 10 incredible songs. No like filler songs for me. I think every song is a banger, anthem, or a bop. And we were able to put together a cohesive, like mixtape kind of album to me that really encompasses, it almost sounds like a playlist to me, if that makes sense. Like you get the best of what we have to offer, and every song has a different character to it, as opposed to when you listen to Meteora, it's like every song sounds like it was recorded in the same booth, the same recording studio, that kind of thing, or with it all within a couple of days. And that's an incredible thing in its own right. But how cool is it that we live in this 2022 23 space where an album can be an amalgamation of those things, of our journey. Like you literally hear 2 years of our life in that record. I think that's cool to me, especially because alinea means the start of a new paragraph, the start of a new thought, the start of like something new. So it was like, this is like, it all came together so nicely. I love it. It's like a book with chapters, it's like a journal, peeling back the pages.
Okay. You mentioned Linkin Park being a big inspiration, Meteora, and then having the Imagine Dragons like verse chorus on Hologram. What other bands or artists do you take inspiration from or have a heavy influence as a musician, writers, as a band as a whole, all that fun stuff?
Absolutely, after you.
Yeah, Green Day is my favorite.
Fuck off, dude.
Green Day is my
Green Day is
favorite.
my favorite
No,
artist.
Green is my. Uh, we are both influenced by Green Day. I like a lot of the bands in the post-hardcore scene: Thrice, Under Oath, Circa Survive, those types of bands. You wouldn't hear a lot of influence from them, but if you know those bands, those little sprinkles you could hear in our music here and there. I think they just write really interesting music. So there's a lot of influence from those bands. And Jeff, you got a few as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit more into the pop rock alternative scene, or at least that's what I was raised on. You know, the Panic at the Discos, the Fall Out Boys, the Green Days, that kind of thing. And of course, Linkin Park. We definitely have a pop sensibility in this band, and we wanted to make sure that we put out a palatable first record that anybody could listen to. You know, it's not just for people that enjoyed metalcore or post hardcore when they were kids. It's not for people that just like pop rock music. It has all of these fun little things and like subtle nuances. But you know, I have a clean voice. I sing with clean vocals, and it's very palatable, very like commercial rock kind of thing. Now that we're working on album two, we're pushing the envelope. We're experimenting with a lot of the really cool rhythms from the genres that Trent really enjoys. I'm pushing my voice in a way that I've never done before to experiment with different things, different melodies, different sounds. And it's so cool to be able to talk about our sophomore record in a way because you know that's like a big thing in music. Um, but those influences definitely come out in our tracks. We get a lot of, you know, hey, you guys have like a Brendan Urie sound in your, you know, the way that you guys do the vocals, or a Patrick Stump, or you know, the way that, you know, you orchestrate your songs is like, you know, similar to Linkin Park, and then all these fun things. Dan Reynolds is an incredible songwriter from Imagine Dragons, and then I think the last influence that I would mention are two incredible songwriters, Ryan Tedder and John Bellion. I'm obsessed with John Bellion. He's one of the best songwriters, I think, of our generation. And Ryan Tedder is fantastic. We got to take his master class. In case you don't know him, he's written pretty much, you know, every song in, you know, the Billboard Top 100. And he's also the lead singer of One Republic. But we got to work one on one with him in his master class. And we just learned so much about pop songwriting and what is palatable and what is not. And I think it really helped our first record in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, right. I am like I didn't realize how much he wrote, and I started delving deep. I was like, "Oh, he's everywhere. He's everywhere." Like,
Yeah, he's on everything.
Yeah.
speaking of your sophomore record, without giving too much away, what would be some words to describe what the Poe fam can expect coming up? A couple words, just summarizing it.
Edgy.
Yeah. I was going to say loud.
Experimental with a question mark at the end. Now I'm just saying things. I don't think it's actually super experimental, but it's definitely pushing. Ah, shoot, we're trying to do one word, right?
Yeah.
A
Oh,
few
okay.
words without, don't give like everything away. Just a couple, just a little segments.
Breath of fresh air.
Nostalgic. Yeah, I would say nostalgic. It's loud, edgy, bombastic, and nostalgic with a little bit of experimentation.
And I would say heavier.
Heavy, yeah, heavier.
It's definitely heavier than the first album.
Was mentioned being more experimental, pushing the envelope a little bit. What other things did you have in mind going into? Okay, release album one, it's done. We got it out. Was your mindset different? Things you wanted to change up when creating the second record?
Yeah, whenever we're writing now is we're always trying to change things. We're not trying to repeat things, and we'll catch ourselves all the time like, "Oh, hey, we always write this pre-chorus like this. Let's not do it that way again. Hey, we always write this section like this or this melody like this. Let's change that." And that begins to open up a like Pandora's box of this conversation of like, are you just changing something for the sake of change, or is that change actually better? And so we're kind of going through a lot of that, and so there's a lot of trial and error that comes with that. But we do think that these changes are for the better, and it's challenging us. And I think you could hear that in the music. If we just wrote the same album all over again, I don't think we'd be challenging ourselves, and I think it'd be disingenuous to our fan base as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard a lot of like inspirational stuff in the music scene recently that I resonate with. And it's like you have to be the biggest fan of your music. So if you're not fully invested to into I can't speak today. If you're not fully invested into listening to it, then how can you expect someone else to be? So in order for that, I have to create fun new things for myself, and also Trent has to create fun things for himself to spark our interests, to keep our mind engaged. I'm personally enjoying the challenge and the growth. I feel like I don't think I'm prideful over anything anymore in regards to music. I think I used to be very prideful, and we would get into like bickering matches and go back and forth and try and get, somebody to think that something is cool because you think it's cool. And now it's like Trent will be like, "Hey, I think you could write something better." And I'm like, "Really, you son of a gun? All right, I'll show you something better." And then I'll write something better, and I'll be like, "Dang it, it worked. It worked on me." But it's what I want, and it makes the music so much more enjoyable for me and the process so much more enjoyable. So you can expect to be surprised. Um, and we can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. So we're gonna do some fun, pre-listening parties and things like that. Um, Additionally, we should probably plug the fact that we're dropping a deluxe edition of our first record with 2 brand new songs from the archives. We're so excited for you guys to hear them. And when we talk about this Alinea Deluxe, it really closes the chapter on the record. It's got that 12-song catalog now, and the last 2 songs really bookend the ideas that we were going for in that first record. So we're excited. And you can hear some of like the direction, it's kind of pointing you in the direction where we're going.
You mentioned the Poe fam a lot. How important is that connection with the fans, with you guys as a band? Like, do you look for them for a lot of feedback? Like, how important is that connection and growth within the Poe fam between you as the band and then the fans as well?
I think it's everything. I think, we wouldn't exist without them. They're amazing. They're always this beacon of hope and positivity in our lives. We try to read every message that we get, even though there's a lot of them sometimes. And they're generally really, really positive, and we feed off that energy, and we love it. So we couldn't do this without them.
Yeah, amen to that. Our Poe fam are amazing. We love talking to the same, not to the same, but to the certain amount of people every day because we know that they have input that is so valuable. I mean, I was literally on the phone with one of the OGs, Jillian, the other day. Shout out to Jillian. What's up? She's an incredible makeup artist, librarian out in Texas. And she was telling us that she went on a road trip with her friend, one of her close friends, and that her friend had never heard our music before. And they listened to our catalog top to bottom from like the earliest release to the latest release. And, that's probably like at least an hour of music, I would presume. And they got to just kind of hear our whole life in that span of that hour. And it was so cool to talk to her because she was like, I felt like I was growing up with you just in that hour. I felt like I was experiencing the things that you were going through in that hour. And she was like, that is super special to me. And I wanted to share how special that is to me. You're a big part of my life. And, and us to her as well. She's a huge part of our lives, as are so many of the other, members of the Poe fam, the elite Poe fam. I'm working on some custom merch right now. We do these like custom jackets with patches that match, the tour jackets that we wear. So we're always talking to them. We're always listening to them. We do Zoom chats with them occasionally. We got a Discord that we got to dust off the shelf. All this fun stuff. So we love communicating with the Poe fam all the time. I dream about them.
Yeah, I think the connection between bands and fans, like when you can have that connection with even just a few members, it makes it just so much more special. Like, because you get to actually hear people's reactions and like everything. It just when you can just get to talk to people, I think it can really help both sides of the party, like just getting to talk to them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trent shared a story with me that he would talk to bands on MySpace, and it completely blew my mind. I was like, I couldn't imagine. I listened to so many. I grew up in like the metalcore, like post-hardcore
Mhm,
scene in Chicago, and I went to a show probably like 3 times a week at this
mhm,
like one local place, and I never had the courage to just like blatantly reach out to a member of a band. And so when he told me that, I was like, that is the coolest freaking thing ever. And if somebody thinks we're cool, I'm going to talk to them because I wish I had that when I
mhm.
was a fan of music. Or I'm still a fan of music. And now I blatantly just message people. If I'm like a fan, if I'm a fan of a band, I just hit them up on Instagram and I'm just like, hey man, really like your stuff. And if they hit me back, I'm like, man, I feel great. This is so cool. I'm such a nerd for that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever just blatantly messaged. I'll tag people in posts, but I don't think I ever have the guts to just message someone. Maybe 13-year-old me might have tried with Harry Styles, but I don't.
You have
Shoot your
subtlety,
shot.
we don't.
Yeah. We're bombastic. We're gonna go for it.
um, let's see here. What else? Oh, if you guys could collab with any artist in the world, who would be like your dream collab?
I really like Nothing But Thieves. I think
Mhm.
they continue to put out really interesting music and they really expand their sound on every track that they put out. So it would just be really exciting writing with them, wondering what could come out of it because it could really be anything. I mean, they usually do like heavier rock songs. They have some songs that sound like they could be in an EDM dance hall or club, and then they just put out another kind of like disco dance song, and they have songs like Queens of the Stone Age. So I really like that band a lot, and I think it'd be fun to write with them.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a spark of energy, like a really exciting spark in that in those rooms that those guys write in. You see some of the behind the scenes type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, this songwriter John Bellion always posts these behind the scenes of him writing the song. It looks like so much fun. I don't know if like it's an act, but if it isn't, it looks like so much fun. So obviously, if that was, in a dream world, we don't really exist in the same genre, but if I could be in a room with John Bellion, I think I'd really learn a thing or two, and I think I would have a blast. Um, Bands, I would love to, be in the same room with Ollie Sykes and the guys from Bring Me the Horizon, just to kind of pick their brain on how they made the move from, that really heavy metalcore, even
Mhm.
deathcore, whatever the heck they were releasing, some type of core, to the palatable pop rock alternative band that they are now. I mean, they play their stuff on the radio, and it's just like that is a completely huge transformation. Featured on songs with Ed Sheeran and that Swedish singer Sigrid. Like,
Hmm.
what an amazing transformation! I think I'd really be inspired to be in a room with them.
Yeah, they got a song with Halsey too.
We got a song with Halsey, like
Yeah,
just crazy. Just like
so cool.
and no, I don't think any other band from that genre is anywhere near that.
No,
Mhm.
they couldn't pull that off.
No, absolutely not.
No, I remember when I saw that they did a Bring Me the Horizon and Ed Sheeran song, I was like, what is this gonna sound like? But it worked. And I was like, I don't know how this works, but it works.
Yes. So random, but speaking
Absolutely.
speaking of like crazy covers, I need to hear this. I just heard a clip of it. It's T-Pain covering War Pigs. Yes. After this, we're all gonna listen to it. Okay, it's gonna blow our minds.
Yes, that
Uh,
sounds incredible.
yes, so
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like the mashup you didn't know you needed until you got it, and you're like,
I can't even picture it.
yes, we'll listen. Okay.
um, what are your ultimate goals? Like what in the next like 5, 10 years, what would be like your dreams? Like if you accomplish this thing, small or big, what would like it would be amazing. What would be like the ultimate thing?
World tour. We have Imagine Dragons open up for us. Serve us food while we play. No,
Picking grapes off the
yeah,
vine and dropping them in my mouth.
yeah. No, it'd be amazing to tour the world. I mean, we are so lucky to have toured a little bit last year and just to meet these people in person that reach out to us every single day and put a name to face and to realize somebody actually exists in the world. They're not just this profile. It's really such a special thing that there's not anything else in the world like it. And getting to share your art and music with all these different people from all these different backgrounds and hearing their stories is just priceless to me. So definitely getting out there, touring, hitting more cities, getting in different countries, and just being able to connect with more people via music.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that's been ringing around in my head is the concept that there's a small chance that you'll succeed, but there is absolutely 0% chance that you'll succeed if you quit. So as long as you don't quit, you can actually do something. So I know that if I don't quit for the next 5 years, I'll be able to look back and be like, wow, I didn't quit no matter what, no matter what anybody said. And I want to, in 5 years, be able to look back and be like, man, I released 5 albums. I toured the world. I got to go see some places I've never been to. Hell, even if I just toured the entire United States and played one show in every state, I would be like, that was amazing. Um, I want to be able to collaborate with other artists in the genre And maybe outside of the genre, we're starting to do writing sessions with incredible bands, and other artists like Moon Tower, Leah, Sophie Marie B, all these people. And I want to sit in other rooms, with bands that I enjoy, Arrows in Action, Magnolia Park, Loveless, these kinds of people that we talk to online, and Wes from Lowborn, all these people that's like these bands that I love. Now we're able to talk to and connect with. So in the next 5 years, I definitely want to be featured on those tracks, tour the world, look back on 5 albums, and just be able to give myself a big ass high five. And if I'll give Trent a high five too in 5 years. Be like, we did it.
So you mentioned the new app that you're working on, Song Story, or you're in part of beta with, and the second album coming out. Any other projects you want to hint at, or maybe the people can expect to see sometime later, or anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to reiterate, we're releasing the deluxe edition of our debut album, Alinea, with 2 brand new songs. That's coming out on March 29th, which is soon, I think. I don't know,
Mhm.
even know what day it is, but please check that out. We're going to drop 2 more singles for album 2, so please be on the lookout for that. I'll probably be posting, half-written demos. So if you like it, you got to let me know. And we're doing a bunch of features with other artists. So stay close to our TikTok page. You might get an idea of who those people might be.
Okay. Before we're gonna start wrapping things up, I enjoyed talking to you, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Sure.
Where can people find you on TikTok, Instagram, anything, any social websites you want to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're super thankful to have at Poe the Passenger for everything. So, we're at Poe the Passenger on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, SoundCloud, Deezer, Napster, no, everything. And we always post really interesting stuff on our website. So if you ever want to check out www.poethepassenger.com, we're always doing exclusive merch drops, maybe discounts for the elite Poe fam that are on our email sign up list. We do a blog. We have all kinds of fun stuff on there. So if you want to know what's going on with us, go check out our website, and also just send us the message on TikTok or Instagram. Actually, the TikTok messaging sucks. It's
Yeah.
just so funny. We have so much engagement on TikTok, but like trying to answer messages on TikTok is like, it gives me like a migraine. But Instagram is actually really organized. So if you want to send us a message on Instagram, we will definitely respond, probably easier than TikTok. So we'll see you there.
Mhm. Anything else you want to add, talk about? Any last fun tidbits you want to share? Anything?
No, I think we gave everyone enough. We got to keep a little bit secret, keep the
Okay.
excitement high. So thanks again for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for talking.
I'm definitely going to hear T-Pain do War Pigs.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yes, I'm
amazing.
excited.
It'll be number one. Number one.
Yes.
And make
That's
sure,
actually who we're collaborating with.
dang it, dude, you're not supposed to say that.
My bad, we're still on.
We're still
It'll
on the
be
air.
My bad.
Poe the Passenger, T-Pain covering War Pigs.
X Pain. How about
Yeah.
that? Poe X
Oh,
Pain.
X-Pain. And please tell Maggie, and was it Angela, your mom?
Angie, yeah.
Angie. We said Angie. Happy birthday from Poe the Passenger.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me. It was
Of
had
course.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a blast. Thanks
We
for
had a
having
blast.
us.
No
Thank you so much.
problem.
We'll tell Tiffany we had a good time too.
Perfect. And I will send out the link to everything when it's all posted and everything too. So
Amazing. Best of luck to you.
bye. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.